All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live February 18th, 2023. Welcome to the Quit Eating Animals show.
Quit eating animals.
All right, so jumping on live here because I think this is going to record and we're going to post. But what I'm going to do here is respond to some comments that we've been seeing. I'm going to scroll through. Feel free to comment if you got some questions. But I think this is going to be pretty fun. First live 2023, checking out to see if this works, and then this thing will get posted. But first, if you're new to the channel, appreciate you being here and checking out this video. My name is Pete Curnow. We are the one of the owners of Quit Eating Animals. Feel free to head over to quiteatinganimals.com, grab a shirt, support us, grab a reminder bracelet, check us out over there. And we're going to be putting out content periodically throughout forever. A little backstory. We've been vegan for just over 5, possibly 6 years. We started plant-based and we just have not looked back since. So, I mean, realistically, this is all about responding and commenting and interacting with each individual, because I know if you're watching this, you're an individual on the other side, which again, we were. So we were we were in your position 6 years ago. We started paleo. We started looking at what we were eating, and then we just kept learning and going on and on and on. And here we are. And I can almost guarantee that we will never look back at the way that we used to eat. And, we're here to challenge you to just look at what you're eating. I mean, that's really it. Not trying to push any agenda, not trying to force anybody to do anything. That has to come from within. But we've been on that shoes. We've been on your side. Okay. So, we've been there. All right. So we're here to help you. We're here to answer questions and just challenge you, because again, the same, concerns that you've had or that you're having about, the same questions, we've been there. Like, we've gone through them. We've established a lot of time onto YouTube, a lot of documentaries, a lot of information. We've looked at a lot of this, and we continue to look at a lot of it, right? But again, it's not changing. The facts are there. The majority of us don't want to look at it. All right. And I think what's important about today is that, as some of these videos hit and, we start seeing a lot of comments, you'll see a lot of similarities, and we've already responded. I mean, you'll see a lot of comparisons. A lot of people feel the same way. And that just goes to show you that we're all along this, and we all have the similarities. And when I say similarities, we've literally all grown up in a society where meat is all around us. Eating animals is normalized. Eating animals is literally at McDonald's. I mean, everywhere you look, it's just normal. And then it's just, we've grown up like that. It's in our schools. It's everywhere. I mean, when you really take a step back and look at it, it's everywhere. It's so hard to take a step back, though, when everyone around you and everything around you is making it okay. It's just normalizing. It's just, here it is. This is normal. Here it is. This is normal. And they've turned it into a way where it's just the way it is. And some of these comments you'll see, it's just the way it is. But is it really? Does it have to be? Does it have to continue to be the way that it is? And, it was challenging for us, because we felt that, like, as soon as we started learning about it, we knew that, like, why contribute to this? I understand if it's necessary, but if it's not necessary, why do we contribute to it? Right? What makes us continue to contribute to it? And that's what we're really trying to uncover. But I can assure you, every single one of you has the ability to quit eating animals. Like, you have the ability. Even though you may think that you don't, or that you can never do it, I can assure you that you can. It's going to take time, but it starts with an open mind. It starts with, like, understanding why you're responding a certain way. I believe you're on this channel and watching this for a reason. All right. I really believe that. And so it may take this video. It may take, 100 videos from now. It may take another video that you see somewhere else. It may take your own experience. But I can assure you, the longer you hang out, the longer that you keep learning information and keep hearing information and keep questioning and keep challenging your own understanding of it. Keep challenging your answers and how you respond, and really try to take a step back and look and feel, what do you feel like when you respond? What do you feel like when you see these things? Do you question why you feel a certain way when you see certain things? Why do we look away from certain things? Why do we laugh about certain things? What are we trying to overcome? And I think that, the more that you dig into information, you'll find that it just it does not make sense to continue to do what we're doing, right? We're not naturally born this way. We do not want to contribute to what's actually happening. No matter what way you look at it, from the health perspective, from the animal's perspective, from the environment's perspective, from everything around this situation of eating animals, nothing is good about it. The deeper and deeper that you dig into it, nothing is good about it. And that's the reason why people stay away from the information. People don't want to look at the information, because the deeper that you get into the information, the deeper that you understand the truth of what's actually happening, you do not want to be contributing to it, right? So you don't need to, and you don't need to really dig that far into the information. You just have an open mind. You just have to be open to understanding, like, hey, the way that we might have been grown up, like milk does a body good, and McDonald's, Happy Meals and these things, like, wasn't necessarily the best option. And if you really look at like the options that we've had, or that you can make instead of that, it's only getting easier. The options are only getting better and better, and more around, and more. It's becoming more available to people all over the place. You're seeing restaurants pop up all over the place. In fact, and speaking of Chick-fil-A, there was a comment about Chick-fil-A. Person eats Chick-fil-A all day, eating Chick-fil-A now. And what's fascinating is that Chick-fil-A found a cauliflower option that's being available into one store in one state. Forget where it was, but that's going to be rolling out across all Chick-fil-A's. And I'm excited for that, because cauliflower resembles chicken. The flavor and the texture of the flavor, it could be flavored just like any chicken wing, barbecue sauce, hot sauce, honey mustard, whatever you want. The sauces will remain the same. Ranch, even, you got vegan ranch. But the cauliflower, the texture and the crunch is so realistic to actual, like, what we're used to is fried chicken. And it simulates that feeling, that craving, that, again, that you'll have once you give up animals. You're like, oh, I feel like a burger. But you realize that you can replace the actual animal parts in the burger with a plant-based option, a bean burger, a lentil burger, Impossible Burger, right? And there's going to be more options there's going to be tons of options. Restaurants are going to be offer this all over the place. So it's going to be easier and easier to make the choice of, instead of eating dead animals, that you just eat plants instead. And the only difference is that you're going to realize that is just, you're not eating animals and plants. Or you're not eating animals, you're eating plants instead. But the texture is going to be there. The flavor is going to be there, because you'll still have lettuce, tomato, onions, the same things that you're used to eating now as far as animal-based. You can have a plant-based version, right? And so it's a little awkward to start to think about, but it once you get over that hump, once you realize that it's that simple, it's that easy, right? Once you look for the other options out there, you find out how to make it, where to find it, it becomes easier and easier and easier. And we're 5 years in, 6 years in, and it's only getting easier. More like options are being available in more places, and other options are coming out. Every day it seems like something new is coming out, or something new is on the way to coming out. And that's exciting, right? We just have to be open to hearing about it, right? And I think the first step is understanding, how you respond specifically, you individually, how you respond to hearing the information. And I think for us, we were very open to it. I think we've been very open to it. And I think it's a fact of the matter. And if you show me, like, the facts of it, right? And if you look at, like, what's actually happening, for us, it's like, oh my goodness, like, wow, I did not know this. I did not know this. Like, why are we doing this? Do you have to? And, let me try something different. Like, are there other options? And then we started looking at other options, and it's like, oh my gosh, this makes me feel incredible. I'm going to continue to do this. Like, wow, there's these options, there's that options. And I think before we stuck to the same things. Turkey sandwich was something that I loved. Chicken sandwich is something that I love. Bacon, eggs, like all of these things were something that I love, but it was the same things over and over and over and over. right? Like, a steak and all of these things were just over and over. It's just the same things over and over. Well, now there are so many different plant-based options. There are so many different variations and combinations of things that you can go together. And by the way, they're cheaper. It's way less expensive to eat plants and vegetables, and it's just a misnomer, misconception that it's more expensive to eat vegan. Of course, if you eat processed foods all day and go that route, like, yeah, it might be more expensive, right? But this isn't. I'm not advocating that. We want you to eat whole foods, plant based, right? But it'll take a process to get there, right? That's the best option. But we're all on our journey. But I think the more that you're open to, not continuing to eat the way that you've been brought up and that you continue to do now, you have to be willing to challenge that. You have to be willing to be open to hearing, like, oh my gosh, like, we may have been wrong about this. Like, oh my gosh, like, what's actually happening? And you have to do it. You can't look at other people, and don't look at who's left to you, right of you, or who, you individually, right? If you feel that it's like, I'm not sure about this, I encourage you to go deeper into that. Get into videos, get into more information, and get into these speeches, and really start to uncover and unpeel, like, how it makes you feel hearing these informations. One person recommend Gary Yavorski. He's got speeches, and he stopped now, but his videos and speeches are on the internet. Google him, Gary Yavorski, and listen to some of his speeches, and they're pretty impactful. He's got a short video of slaughtering and things like that, but short, 4 minutes, and again, I encourage you to watch it. He does it in a way of he's in a classroom setting, and they're kind of put in that situation, but it's really eye-opening, and it really, he asks questions, and there's really no response to it. And he was one of the first people that I just started listening to. Like, he just does not beat around the bush. He doesn't seem like a just like all out there, and then just like he tells it how it is. I mean, fact of the matter. And once you say fact of the matter, it's just hard to not want to, like, just like, you just have, like, how do you not answer that? I mean, how do you keep going and continuing to, like, walk out of after hearing that speech and continuing to do that? And I think that's what I find it interesting of people react differently. And I know that our situation, as soon as we kind of saw it, we realized, like, okay, other people, once you see it, I mean, they have a hard time, continuing to go that route. And I think timing is everything. I mean, timing for everybody individual is all of it, right? I mean, so you may be watching this and not, you may be slightly open to it, right? That's why you're watching this. You may be, like, all in, and that's great, right? You may be, like, halfway there, and this video may kind of continue to push you into opening up more, more information. And then regardless of what way you want to look at it, and I encourage you to look at it from the animal's perspective. I think that's the most impactful. I think that's the most. It's just a matter of fact. It tells it exactly what's happening. And then if you look out in the real world, I mean, slaughter trucks are driving down the road, and these animals are actually in there, and you can see this, and so they hide it away on purpose so that it's just not around. But realize that it's happening every minute of every second of every day. Billions and billions of animals every year are slaughtered unnecessarily, or because we continue to buy it. So, challenging each and every one of you to look a different way. And I think I spoke here long enough, about 15 minutes in. And then let's get into some of these responses. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pull these responses up. Let me see if I can do this. Here we are. Boom. I'm going to share the screen. There she is. All right. So this is a video on YouTube put up here, and it's let's go ahead and can we play this? Let's play this.
Quit eating animals.
So it's a quick video. This was a vegan rib, a soul food place,
Animals.
and so that's good. So let me go back here. All right, so this was a All right. See, we got to get better at where all this stuff is, but there's some comments here coming through. How do I get back there? Let's go back to the library.
Quit eating. Quit eating.
All right, we're going to pause this. Boom. Okay, so are we up here? I think you can see this. Yeah. All right. So, this was, that was a vegan rib place, a soul food rib place in Ohio. The place was absolutely amazing. As soon as we saw it on their menu, I had to get it. Another person in the restaurant recommended it. They said they were on point, and let me tell you, it was certainly on point. And it's tough to kind of showcase that, but I mean, this thing was just so well done. It actually had a fake bone in it, right? To the point where it's like if that's what we're used to eating. And so the transitioning into eating things that are different, but similar enough to where it's not like weird. It's really, the only difference is these are plants versus animals. And when you go back into it, it's like, why would I want to contribute to hurting and harming and the suffering and killing of an animal when I can, just eat plants instead, right? And if you say like, oh, the plant options are it's just so disgusting or it's so bland. I mean, first of all, it's not about the taste, but let me tell you that we've just shown you there's tons of recipes out there that there's restaurants that are coming out with these things that are so delicious. And I'm telling you that because we've tried it, and I'm encouraging you to try it as well. I mean, it tastes like barbecue. These were barbecue ribs and made with, this was jackfruit. Pulled jackfruit was the main ingredient in here. And so it was so well done and made with whole foods and plants. And you felt so good coming away from this. And that's important to realize that it can be done. And why would you not want to when it can be done? You feel better, and all the things point to only good things happening. So some of these comments, and we're just going to scroll through, but this is some of the, how people feel. And this is one too. So looks good. So this was one of the very few people that, said looks good. They like the option. They, plant-based. But here, Bingus, he says, I've decided I'm making hamburgers today. So, what I'm trying to do here is get people, I'm trying to ask why. So why you especially coming across this video, he has the need to comment of hey, I'm deciding to make hamburgers today. All right. So you have to feel a certain way in order to actually, come across the video and then actually type, I'm going to make hamburgers today. So why does that make you feel the need to type that? And I think that's important for Bingus to realize. All right. So, I don't know if this was out of order here. But I think he got back to me here. He might have maybe deleted it, but I think I responded. He says he doesn't feel anything or something. So I ask him why is he is he feel like he eats blindly? And I think eating blindly is just, waking up and doing the same thing over and over again, but just not realizing what you're doing. You're just eating things. And that's concerning, regardless of whether animals or plants, but you should not be blind to what you're eating. You should always understand what it is that you're eating. And when I say eating, I mean, what it is that you're eating is always in the ingredients. So look into the ingredients about what it is that you're actually eating. And then question, why are these things in there? I mean, and the ingredients that we're specifically talking about here are animals. I mean, and why do we continue to eat those ingredients, animals, when we don't have to? All right. So, blindly is not a good thing. And so Mooney Sharp here says, I'm just trying to say, did he also delete his comment? I don't know what's happening here, but, people were pretty mad. And he was telling me to shut up or something. And I'm like, whoa, why the harsh words? Why do you feel this way? And, he says he's trying to not make people convert. He said, I actually eat both, but I'm just trying to say, don't make people convert if they don't wanna. Well, I'm just trying to get at the fact of why don't you want to? Why don't you want to stop eating animals, right? To quit eating animals. Why don't you want to? That's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to make people convert. I think that has to come from within. All right. So that has to come from within. So, I can't make anybody convert. All right, here comes Ty. Ty says, "Damn, I don't care. Just now, I ate some leftover spaghetti. It was really good." So this was another good one. I'm sorry, there's multiple good ones. And I said we eat spaghetti all the time, and we do like onions and cucumbers. And in fact, there's this TVP. It's called textured vegetable protein. It's little crumbles, but it simulates like ground beef is what you're used to eating, but it simulates that, and it's little crumbles, and it flavors just as well as anything else. And the flavors you put into the spaghetti, we cut up cucumbers, onions. You put mushrooms in there. Put those full of peppers, red peppers, yellow pepper, green peppers. Put all those peppers in there. And it is a absolute great healthy dish, spaghetti, and it simulates. You put sauce on it, and it tastes and resembles the spaghetti. It does not have to be ground up, meat sauce or meatballs. These are dead animals. The flesh of dead animals does not need to be in there. All right, and when you realize like you don't have to be contributing to this, and we can start to use plant-based options, like why not? All right, so I'm saying that it's out there. That there has to be there's going to be a learning curve. But once you realize it's out there, you know where to get it. You can have it delivered to you. The first time we ordered TVP, I didn't really know where it was in the store, so I ordered it off Amazon. You can order anything off the internet now. So it's out there. Just Google it or go look for it. Ask somebody. It's in there. They're in the stores. All right. So Ty, he's encouraged. He said, "Hey, I'm going to try what you make with veggies and stuff." So that's pretty cool. All right, Gavin Fett. So Gavin says a good hamburger sounds good about now, right? So, why do you think that is? Okay, so he says, I'm hungry for something that's not plants, animals. I don't think it's showing everything here. On the phone, I think it's a little different. But either way, he's hungry for something that's not plants. Most people say taste. Right. And here's another important point I think people realize, like, because you say it tastes good, right? So why do you continue to eat animals? Like, oh, because it tastes good. I can assure you that that's not the main reason why we gave up or quit eating animals. It wasn't because of the taste. Like we agree with you. We've liked the taste of Hamburger Helper, of McDonald's burgers. Like I enjoy the taste. Like that's not arguing that fact. Okay. But I can assure you that the taste is just as good from a plant-based option, if not better. It takes the same seasonings, the same flavorings, right? The same textures, right? You can make it literally the same, except for the fact that it's not dead animal flesh that we're consuming. That's really the only difference. And I can assure you that it's out there. So once you start to realize, like, wow, wait, you can do this from a food-based option, you're not missing anything. You're giving up the violence and the death and the contributing to that, and you're going for a plant-based option. I mean, it's really that simple. But I think people have a hard time realizing that. And that's okay. It's going to take time. I think timing is different for everybody. All right. So here we go. And this is another question. I know he said animal here. I said, what if a plant-based, let's say he's in the mood for a burger. What if a plant-based burger tasted just the same? Okay. The texture was just the same. And you had a animal burger. Okay. But a plant-based and an animal burger, the exact same. Which one would you choose? He said animal burger. I don't find that to be a truthful response, because what comes with the animal burger is all the violence and death and contributing to the animal harming. I'm literally saying that a plant-based version, or that didn't have cause any death or harm or violence to anybody, which one would you choose? Like, come on, man. Like, you're not going to choose an animal version of that, right? We all know that. So, why respond that way? Okay. Here's the Chick-fil-A guy, Eric Markowitz. Eat all the time, eat chicken all the time. Yum, yum. I get it too. We ate chicken before. It's right. The taste is not why we gave up animals. I mean, if you look into the process of animals and why we're doing it and what we're causing, and why would we want to cause that violence and harm and suffering, of these animals that go through this every second of every minute of every day of every year, will it be for an eternity? I'm saying no. That we are closer than a lot of people think because of technology and videos like this and people like thinking differently and the products become more realistic of what we're used to. It's just using a plant-based version versus the actual use of animal flesh and harming and suffering and killing of animals for this reason that it's unnecessary. Like, we're closer than we think. And it's just going to take a little bit of momentum and we're patient enough. I know people, it's not what we're used to. We have years and years and years and years of this being, I'm going to say, indoctrinated of all around us and normalized. But now as we more and more of us step out and start to question, like, wait a second, what are we doing? Like, what's going on around us? Like, why, wait, where's my money actually going? I'm contributing to what? Like, oh, those animals are kept like that. Like, oh, wow, like they don't want to be there like that. And why are we doing? Oh, it's because I'm paying for it. I'm paying for them to be stored that way and transported. I'm paying all of those people's, salaries and all the people that make money in that whole entire process. My money is going towards all of their suffering and torture and holding and against. They don't want to be there. Do you think that they enjoy what's happening to them? What's in it for them? Right? Is it all about our needs and our wants and our like why do we get to dictate that? Why do we get to determine, and we do. Like, our money, or if we contribute to it, like we're buying that, I'm contributing to all that. Like, that's okay. Is it okay? Right? If I feel like that's okay, my money can go towards that. But if you're against that, if you don't like that, but yet we continue to contribute to that, I find that conflicted. And I think, a lot of people that are hanging on to this, when they see this information or these videos and they hang on to the information, they're conflicted because clearly nobody no right person in their mind wants to see suffering and see animals die and get tortured and scream and have their babies taken away and chained up for years after years and just producing milk. And, that's just kind of what they go through. I mean, nobody would want to to contribute to that, for if they didn't have to, right? No one wants to contribute to that. So why are we doing it? I think a lot of people think that we have to. Some of these other comments, we've been doing it for so long. But just because we're doing it for so long, does that mean that we continue to do it? And does that make it right to continue to do? Or can we choose a different option? All right, let's get back to some of these responses. I'm going to get some steak, want one. So enough to see this video to comment, I'm going to get some steak. So, how does this person feel? Who's this? Max, how do you feel? Like, why did you respond like that? And why did that video cause you to respond like that? And I think that's that confliction of should I do a plant-based? Like, no, and then coming back out strong. Like, I'm going to get a steak. A lot of people think like steak is like masculine and it's like, hunting, but if you look at the process and the entire, chain of from start to finish of what a steak is and comes from and how it's produced and everything, there really is nothing masculine about it. There's nothing like strong about steak. All right. But, and I think that's the reason why people, or Max commented like that. Then Braden jumps in here. He does give me a ribeye cooked medium rare. All right. One of my questions is why don't people like eating the flesh of the animal? Why don't people like eating, why don't people eat it rare? Is it natural to be doing? A lot of responses or things that I'd like to respond with is that if it's natural, like, why aren't we doing it like without any, with just our natural bare hands? Like, does it appeal to us, or can we even go out and catch a deer and claw it open and rip it open, then eat it? Like, that's not natural. That's not normal. That's not what we do. We have to cook the food. We have to heat it up. Right? It doesn't even appeal to us. Like, we have to put it on a grill and heat it up because of the pathogens, the bacteria, because our body is not in our digestive system. It would harm us if we ate it raw like that. That's why it doesn't appeal to us to eat raw things. I'd say the majority of us, right? So if you're watching this and it doesn't appeal to you, like, why do we do it? And is it natural? Like, and the slaughterhouses, I mean, what we do to animals is not the food chain. That is something that we made up, but we naturally, or we artificially inseminate and breed these animals into existence only for them to be executed and murdered and killed just so that we can eat the food, or and chop them up and eat them, and continues it over and over and over and over again. And it's just it's atrocious. It's terrible. It's tragedy. All right. So Braden. All right. So here's what he says. Maybe the fact that this thing is called the circle of life, and people forget about this planet and the species of humans were created as hunter-gatherers. Hunting has been a thing literally since humans became a thing. Okay. So let's just kind of go back to the fact that hunting and gathering. Okay. So we can go back millions of years or however long. And okay. So the hunting and the gathering, my take is that we must have been gatherers first, right? Because the plants, and it was a lot easier to go pick plants instead of go like catch an animal that doesn't want to die and they run away and they're scared. And like if we, go try and harm them, like they don't like that, they're going to run away. So it's going to be a lot easier to pick plants and cook plants and things that, like, plants don't run away, they just stay there. So you're going to, pick the berries and the corn and all the things that you plant them, they grow and they don't run away. And so it's going to be a lot easier to gather than hunt. Okay. So I would argue that gathering came way before hunting, or the thought of like, okay, I can't catch it, so I might have to try to stop it. I'm going to create this spear and I might throw something at it, right? Like, because I can't get up and catch it. I'm going to need a knife to, especially once I catch it, I can't rip it open with my bare hands. So I'm going to need a tool to chop, but we don't need all that stuff with plants. Okay. So, that's back in the day. So I'd argue that we were definitely eating plants before we started to eat animals. Okay. But if you needed to do it for survival, I'm all with you. If we're all on an island and all, it's just animals out there and there's no plants, I mean, me and you have to we have to hunt and kill animals to survive for our family, I'm all about it, right? I'm with you. Unfortunately, I don't want to kill anything. But if we have to survive, I'm with you. We're with you. That's not what we're arguing here. The problem, with this thought is, or with the reality of the situation that we're currently facing today, February 28th, 2020, February 18th, 2023, we're not in a situation where we need to hunt. We can get our food from stores that have plants. Now they're coming out with vertical plants and vertical, farms that are growing up instead of out. So we don't need more space to grow more plants and have and feed an area with plants. We don't need to be doing that. All right. Hunting. We don't hunt our food. We don't need to be going out and hunting our food. We can buy everything from the supermarket and plants. So, just because we've done it in the past and we're no longer like that anymore, right? It's time to evolve. It's time to realize okay, we don't need to harm and cause violence and kill animals anymore because we can eat plants. So why continue to do it? All right. So that answers the hunter gatherers. All right. We don't hunt them, so we don't do it for survival. All right. Do you think flavor should be the only thing? So what's more important? A lot of people say taste. I said, what's more important, the life of the animal or the taste of the animal? A lot of people respond with the taste, but if you actually look at the value of the, your 5 minutes of pleasure of, wow, that's a tasty burger. And again, you can get the same thing from a tasty plant burger. So why eat one when you can have the other? Well, the other one contains violence and killing and blood and screaming and like pain and suffering. Like, I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat death. I don't want that. I want plants. I want plants that, make me feel good. Just listen to your body. I mean, we've listened to our body. We feel a lot better eating plant-based burgers instead of, how we felt when we ate meat burgers and all this, greasy, heavy, animal protein. It was just like, you felt like death. You felt like tired. Whereas you eat plants, I feel great. You got tons of energy. I mean, just look at all the plant-based, plant-based animals out there that are just like, think about just deer in general, right? Deer, they eat plants and they run, they're long lasting, and they're, boom, they can outlast a tiger, like a carnivore, like a tiger who eats animal flesh, right? Like, they have short bursts of speed. Okay, they have short bursts of speed. Boom, they capture their prey, and usually the prey that they catch are the old and the weak from the pack that are just not fast enough. And so those animals, those tigers eat that. Okay, and then how do they feel after they eat that? By the way, they don't cook their food; they just eat it naturally, and they claw and tear it open. Right? They have teeth and claws and to be able to do that. Like, we don't. All right. So once they do that, and then how do they feel after? They just sleep. They just sleep all day, right? And they don't run long distance. The plant eating protein animals, right? Those animals are the long lasting, right? And look at even their strength. You got hippos, elephants, gorillas. I mean, just the facts are really pointing to, like, we're not supposed to eat animals. Animals aren't making us healthy. In fact, they are killing us. The more that you read and the more that you do research on, the health aspect of animal proteins versus plant proteins, just, why not stay away? Why not just go all in on plants, especially because you can get out the violence and the pain and the suffering of all these animals. Just get it out. All right, let me see. Avram, not a chance. I will never stop eating meat. All right. I never sat here and thought, 40 years in, I'd be sitting here talking about being a vegan. I didn't even know what a vegan was, but I never thought about this. And a lot of people think that they can never go vegan. I mean, I think that's the first thing people say, like, oh, I'll just never go vegan. We said, I'll never give up beer. Like, but people do. I'll never give up this. People do when they realize, like, what it's actually doing to them, what they're contributing to. People do. So if they can do it, you can too. And I know that we did it. Our whole entire family did it and continue to do it. I know that you can too. All right. So, but you have to understand how you're responding to this. Okay. So, yes, you can. Stop telling yourself that you can't. All right. Another one. He doesn't respond. Why do you think that? So, Inky, and this is where it gets more deep. And when I say deep, people talking about plants feeling pain. Okay. He goes into when grass is cut, it releases a pheromone that almost chemically identical to our panic chemicals. That's why fresh cut grass has a smell. Tomato plants and other fruit-bearing plants let off little hypersonic screams when their fruit is picked. Okay, so, I mean, first, and just basic biology of animals versus plants. Okay, and not to say, that Inky isn't right, that plants feel pain. Okay, just trying to give benefit of the doubt here. But what I'm looking at is the animals that we eat, which cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, that we shoot, or deer, and how they compare to us as a human, right? Or non-human animals. We're animals too, so they are just like us. And when I say just like us, I'd say the difference, there's many differences, but the main similarities and the important similarities start with the central nervous system. Central nervous system is you're feeling your pain. Okay, like the ability to feel pain. You have a brain to think. You have eyes to see. You have ears to hear. You have a digestive system. They are the anatomy of animals that we kill and eat. Like, they are just like us. They feel pain. They suffer. They show emotion. Okay, I mean, if you look at like when in the dairy industry, when the mother cow gives birth to their baby calf, and their calf is taken away in the dairy industry so that they can continue to produce milk, the mother cows bellow. They scream out. They yell out for their baby for days almost, and so they show emotion just like you and I do. Okay. And they feel pain. I mean, if you can hear some of the videos that you can see in slaughterhouses, these pigs, these cows in there, they bellow out, they scream. They do not want to be there. They show you, they try to run away, and they struggle. If you watch these videos of them knowing that they're going about to get harmed, and they hear and they smell the blood of their others or before them of being killed, they're smart enough to understand what's happening to them. Okay. So even if plants feel pain, okay, just compare the feeling that you would get if you were put into a room with a cow, right? And you had to stab and slice and cut the cow in half, and the feeling that you get if you're put into a room with an onion or a tomato or a plant, and what it would feel like to chop and kill and murder the vegetable. Just look at the differences just like that, and then tell me, if you could, why not choose one and not the other? All right. Nobody wants to be contributing to the way it makes them feel, and to murdering and slaughtering animals just like us. You can see it in their faces, and they don't want to be harmed, and they struggle, and we don't want to be doing that to them, especially when we don't have to. Remember, I'm with you if you have to. We were on board. Like, if you had to, survival, like, absolutely. Like, unfortunately, we'd have to kill animals if it's for survival. But we don't have to. Okay, not in any environment. Nobody on YouTube right now commenting has to. You're not in a situation where you have to kill animals. It is unnecessary for everyone watching this to kill animals and continue to eat them. All right. So let's see here. So I go into responding to Itchel there. Same thing, basically slicing the tomato. How about no? Little Dead Riding Hood. How about no? And I'm asking why. Why do people say, how about no? Like, why? Don't just respond no. Get a little deeper. I can't help you, or, that's not really going to help. I need to understand why no. Why do you think, and ultimately you need to respond with no? Like, you got to understand that. And if you respond, Little Dead Riding Hood, I'll be able to try to help you. All right. Here's a good one I had with Smitty Werbeen Jagerman Jensen. All right. So he said he not to be rude, he supports me being vegan and keeping our environment a suffer-free environment. But when go telling others to be vegan, that turns into more of animal rights activist activity. Exactly. Certainly for the animals. Do not want the animals to be, don't feel like we should be exploiting them. So I ask, like, is it a bad thing? I appreciate the comment, but is it a bad thing? He said not at all, unless it gets pushed to a point that's just too far, such that the vegan teacher. Okay, I don't know who the vegan teacher is, but I don't know if being pushed too far. I don't know how. I don't understand how you can push something too far when, like, if you look at the facts of it, like is it like what's happening? Like, is it right? Is it really something that we should be continuing to doing? Is all I'm asking. All right. So, but pushing something that's like, damn, is killing these animals that we don't have to. Does that even sound right? Killing others, animals, causing pain and suffering to animals unnecessarily. I don't know how that could ever be right. Okay. So, not trying to push, but just getting people to understand, like, what are we doing here? Like, is it right? So I'm questioning. Okay. And you should definitely question. Don't just listen to me. Definitely not pushing, but I'm certainly getting people to question. By the way, go ahead and we got mugs like this, website, www.quiteatinganimals.com. I don't know if we have the mugs up yet, but we certainly got shirts, reminder bracelets. We got Choose Dairy Free shirts as well. Go ahead and make your way over there. Help support us out. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. This one's live, so I might be doing more lives. I like lives. I think this is pretty cool going through here. I don't know if I've gotten any comments or anything. Probably not. Not a lot of people watching. But again, if you're watching this, go ahead and comment. Another thing I want to do here is I'm gonna, if you want, I can get you on and we could talk. We could talk live. So if you are watching this, go ahead and DM me, give me your number, or drop your number. I can go ahead and call it if you don't want to put it over. But I can call it from my phone and we can get you on live. We could talk right here, and then we'll go ahead and post it. I'd love to have the conversation with anybody who's willing. Because again, it's all it is conversation. I'm trying to understand where you are, where you came from, but I can assure you, no matter who I talk to, I've been in your shoes. Like we've been there. I've ate animals for over 30 years, started doing research, started looking, and I continue, we're strong as ever. We're healthy. We feel great. Our minds are right. Like everything, is pointing into we're doing the right thing. Okay, like this is the path that I'm going to say 100% of people should be doing, and they can do it. Don't think that you can't. Another comment I got, I don't know if it's on here or on TikTok, but they said that he's a type 1 diabetic and he can't be vegan. That's false. There's nobody, not one medical condition that I know of that anyone has that needs to eat animal protein and their products. Not one, none whatsoever. Okay. In my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but all the research, everything that we've learned is literally pointing all to the fact that animal proteins, eating animals is causing more bad things. Sure, there's some good things in there, right? You can point to some vitamins and things affecting us, but there are more bad things in animals than they are in plants. Plants are helping our bodies. We're able to digest them and they produce good things for our bodies, whereas animals produce bad things for our bodies and they harm our bodies. Okay, they cause disease. So that's that. All right, let's keep going here. It's cheap and tasty. Okay, there's a medical condition here. Price protein medical condition. All right. Okay, maybe it might be Smitty. Okay, this is Smitty. I think he's the one with medical condition here, type 1 diabetes. Plant foods are certainly less expensive than animals. I have the fact, okay? That if you look at the price of it, like lentils, beans, super cheap, especially in bulk. All right, you look at steak, just look at eggs. I mean, look at how much eggs are. I mean, that's why are we continuing to support that and pay those prices when you don't have to? Don't eat eggs. We make a mean tofu scramble. Oh man, it's so good. It simulates like scrambled eggs. We have it with avocado spread or bread. It's, oh man, really good stuff. But you don't need to be eating eggs. Eggs are bad. Red meat, processed meat, all bad things for a human body. I mean, just look it up. All right. So you're not eating animals to be healthy. Nobody's eating animals for health reasons. And you don't need to. All right. All right. So I'm sorry, that looks foul. So if it looks foul, okay, number one is, you don't want it to look foul. But if you we're just kind of trained to look at dead animals, the flesh, tendons, blood, cartilage, and everything in the flesh of a dead animal. And we're looking at jackfruit or, lentils or beans. What's really foul? Which one's foul? Which one's disgusting? So, it's just stop looking at plants like being foul. I think it's something that you tell yourself that's foul. But is really flesh and death and violence, is that yum? Nah. This guy said no. Martha said no. Slim Shady said no. No response. Richard said no. All right. Guys, I've been on nearly 50 minutes. All right. Just one comment, the responding to some of these comments. So, I appreciate you sticking around and watching this. As far as if you've been this far, go ahead and comment. And what did you like most about this? What comment, what did you like most? What do you agree with? What don't you agree with? Go ahead and leave comments. DM me. We certainly can help you. I really agree, or I believe that you are going to go vegan. The more that you stick around, the more that you watch us, you will eventually quit eating animals, right? So have fun with it, right? It's a journey. I can assure you that, the sooner that you get there, the better that you're going to be all around. I'm telling you that, like, it only gets better. You have nothing to be concerned about, nothing to be worried about. We're here on this journey with you. We can help you. We have a community of people that can help you, that'll support you. It's a journey, but you have to be open-minded. Okay. You have to understand, like, why you feel a certain way. Okay. Like when you come across certain, like, our videos, or like, what does it make you feel when, right, pushing your agenda, or like, why do you, I'm not pushing anything. We're not pushing anything, simply asking or stating the question. And we'll continue to ask and ask the question and try to get to the bottom of, like, why you continue to do it. And I think, and I know, if you get to the actual reason that you continue to do, I mean, is that really a justification? Like, what is that actual justification of continuing to contribute to violence and harm of animals? You're not going to want, like, you just don't feel good about that because you're not born like that. We were not born to want to kill and harm animals. That doesn't make us feel good. We continue to put death and all that torture into our body and into these, into ourselves. We're not contributing to the good of everyone. And so why continue to do it? So I'm challenging you, and I appreciate you being here. Continue to watch our content, continue to watch our videos, ask questions, call us, DM us. Just continue to grow. This is a learning journey. We are not done learning. You'll continue to learn forever. But I can assure you, the more that we learn, the more that we figured out, all signs are pointing in this direction, that plants are certainly the way to go. You don't want to be contributing to all this violence and death, right? You don't have, when you don't have to. I can assure you don't have to. You're not going to miss a thing. You're only going to feel better. You're going to get healthier. You're going to have more energy. Everything around you is just going to sprout and grow, and it opens up this whole new world. All right. So I appreciate you watching. Go ahead and hit the like button if you like this, what you found valuable. Comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. And again, appreciate you being here. Again, we'll be continuing to put out content, put out videos like this, more lives if you like this. And we'll see you in the next video. All right. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget, quit eating animals. Oh, I'm going to play this.
Quit eating animals.
Peace.